Nigerian Senate is fighting Trump. Something very strange just happened in Nigeria. You know, for the past weeks, all you had that was silence. There was no outrage, no emergency session from the Senate, no usual Senate gra-gra, no fire, no Natasha versus Akpabio. This one's slept with that. All of that you don't hear. Then suddenly, the Nigerian Senate finds its voice. Suddenly, he found his voice. Not against insecurity, not against kidnapping this past week, but against President Donald Trump. Nigerian Senate found his voice against President Donald Trump, kind of in support of the Gumis of Nigeria. They are now standing with the Gumis. The question is simple. Why now? Why now? The answer is here on the P0wer show on YouTube. Let me set the scene as usual for you. On Christmas Day, Sokoto was bombed, the head of the caliphate. Sokoto is not just any city. We keep emphasizing. Most Nigerians don't know this. That Sokoto is the spiritual headquarters of the Nigerian caliphate, which runs 12 states with Sharia. The seat of the Sultan. And for weeks, the Senate said nothing. Nothing. The P0wer show on YouTube called it out. It accused top Nigerian officials, including the ever-talkative Senate President Godswill Akpabio, of radio silence. We said, Akpabio, where are you? Say something. Silence where outrage was expected. Silence where courage was required. What is this turning point? You wonder, when did they suddenly find their voice? Turkey. Turkey. Gumi's Turkey. Turkey happened. Then something changed. President Tinubu boarded the plane for Turkey. Let's be straight. Gumi and Northern Sharia supporters in protest against Trump and the US insist that Tinubu leave America alone and ally with Muslim Turkey. Not with America. That is the blunt fact. So Tinubu looking frail and comical in an oversized coat, trips and falls. He fall in Ankara, man. He had to use the Turkish President Erdogan as a walking stick and prop throughout the public ceremonies. This was a disgrace. Tinubu, look, Tinubu is a human being. He's obviously in pain. He's in distress. The man looks sick. Why dispatch him to Ankara? Why? A trip heavily associated with Sheikh Gumi's ideological ecosystem, whether directly or indirectly, and suddenly, Nigerian northern senators wake up. They suddenly wake up from silence. Emergency outrage, probe resolutions, secret committee. Let's not talk about this. Let's go and talk about it in committee. Anger at America was open. Anger at Trump was rife in the Nigerian Senate these past few days. Not at Nigeria's failures, no. Not at Islamic terrorists, ISIS. Not at Christian genocide. Not at Senate silence. Not at the fact that Nigeria is a damaged country today, but at Trump, at American Christians and congressmen who demanded the end to ISIS killings in northern Nigeria. That's all they demanded. They wanted nothing else from Nigeria. Just stop killing Christians. Why Akpabio? Then Akpabio suddenly shuts down debate. Let's be careful. Let's be honest about something Nigerians pretend not to see. Akpabio initially shut down this debate. Initially. His words, I'm going to paraphrase it. I don't want to fight with Trump. He's afraid of Trump. We've said this before, but that wasn't statesmanship. That was fear. Fear of the Magnitsky Act, which could catch Akpabio. Fear of sanctions against Akpabio as a person. Fear of scrutiny by the US. Akpabio has long-standing corruption allegations in Nigeria, including EFCC investigations and unresolved corruption questions from his time as governor of Akwa Ibom State. This is public record. These are allegations. Yes, they're allegations. But they're persistent, they're documented, and they're politically dangerous for him in Washington, D.C. of today. You don't provoke Trump when your name could already be in the system as one of the names on the Magnitsky Act. You don't do that. Northern senators versus Akpabio. But northern senators, they don't share Akpabio's fear, so those ones are not afraid. Unlike Akpabio, they're not. The anger is not about diplomacy, it is about power. Some people believe that some of the corruption money, some people have been alleged is not here. They are angry that Tinubu didn't stop the bombing. Those northern senators are angry that Tinubu did not condemn the bombing immediately, even though they did not condemn it themselves. Akpabio tried to bury debate on this. So they flipped the script on him these past few days. From silence to Senate outrage. From cowardice to confrontation. They are now comfortable. Now that they forced Tinubu to go to Turkey. Not because Trump did any bad thing to Nigeria, but because Northern authority felt challenged. The North felt the authority is challenged. Normally, the British royal family and the British government support them. But that support is weak today. The real conclusion, let me say this clearly, and Nigerians must hear it. Bola Tinubu does not rule Nigeria. This is my opinion. This is what I see. He does not rule Nigeria. He negotiates Nigeria. He navigates Nigeria. He survives Nigeria. Real power lies elsewhere in entrenched northern religious political authority. In Senate blocks that decide when outrage is permitted. They decide. Akpabio feared Trump. Akpabio has a reputation as a political coward who bends to the wind and could switch allegiances at the drop of a hat. Public evidence exists that Akpabio is a weakling. Tinubu, on the other hand, actually feared destabilization. Tinubu don't want to be allowed to be president, I beg. Northern senators fear nothing. They fear nothing. And that tells you everything. They were initially scared, don't get me wrong. Right now, they're not scared. They're not. In Nigeria, courage has a timetable. As you can see here, Senate bravery loads slowly like NEPA light. Senate bravery loads slowly like NEPA light. Sometimes it never even comes on like NEPA light. Other times it comes with generator noise and diesel smell. That's what you have. Generator noise and diesel smell from those hypocritic senators. Subscribe, comment, push notifications. This is your P0wer show. We don't just report events as you can see here. We track where they lead. We have opinions.